we the body. Moving, shaking, coming down, tipping. Stacking, racking, money, power flipping. Moving, shaking, coming down, tipping. Stacking, racking, money, power flipping. Moving, shaking, coming down, tipping. Stacking, racking, money, power flipping. Moving, shaking, coming down, tipping. Stacking, racking, money, power flipping.
Happy holidays. Hope everybody had a good Christmas yesterday. Come on in. Make sure you guys hit that like button. I see we starting off with a semi-packed house already. I think a lot of people are not running because of the holiday. We streaming on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Shout out to everybody over there on Instagram. So with Instagram, I figured out, since I've been streaming on Instagram now simultaneously with Facebook and YouTube, Instagram times out the stream after an hour. So right at the hour mark, if you're watching on Instagram, you're going to have to come over to either Facebook or YouTube if I'm still on within an hour. If I'm still on after an hour, which I probably will be. So come on in. Make sure you guys hit the like button. How's everybody doing? Let's just cover some little roll call real quick, and then we'll get started. Happy holidays to everybody. I see Ken in the building, Kelvin in the building. What's that, Texas? Kelvin Birch. I see Elton, Orlando, OTR Ray, Virginia. Shout out to OTR Ray. Roger Lacey, what's going on? What up, Cincinnati in the building? Is it Niju, Truesdale? Baltimore in the building. We got a lot of new subscribers coming in too, y'all. So, to all the new subscribers, welcome. It's D-Walk, Cleveland in the building. Shout out to all the MGMs. Shout out to all the moderators in here. Miguel, what up? Big Herm, what up? Kelvin, what up? Devontae, what up? Florida, what up? Sale, what up? We know Marcel. That's Chicago. That's Chicago in the building. What's going on, Nino? What up? What up? What up? US Pack got me delivering auto parts around town, so it's something better than nothing. T4 screwed me and don't have a route, so I have to scale up. I thought you said you left T-Force, and then when you came back, they didn't have a route available. So did they screw you, or did you leave and tried to come back, and when you came back, it wasn't nothing available? Shout out to Micah. What up? What up? New Jersey in the building. Staten Island in the building. Bill Bob. What up? L representing LA. What up? Mark, I'm digging that logo, bro. It's something serious. Yeah, man. We just keep going up, man. We keep going up, man. We're gonna always continue to improve things. Got a lot of new things coming up. I don't have a New Year's resolution. All right. I don't make New Year's resolutions. When I come up with things, I don't put them off and say, oh, well, I'm gonna in 2024, I'm gonna go do this. Whenever I think of something, I just do it. Don't put off tomorrow what you can do today. So, it's a lot of new things that I'm implementing into the channel, just implementing into life. So, but a lot of things coming up, not necessarily for the new year, just period. I'm just pushing stuff out as I think of new things, or as I commission contractors to do certain things for the channel. I just push it out. So, yeah, man, appreciate that though. New Jersey in the building, Top Product Media, Blackjack. What's going on? Shout out to everybody that's on Instagram too. I see Lumber. What's that? Love Black. See, I don't do Lil no more. LIL. It's LUH now. Love Blackjack BWA. Tallahassee, Florida in the building. On Instagram, I see everybody that's watching on Instagram. Shout out to everybody that's watching on Facebook too. Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. No, I came back and they still didn't have a route for me with T-Force. They promised me and nothing worked, so I have to do something to deal with. So this is what happened. When you leave somewhere where you're a contractor at, a person to tell you anything. They'll sell you a dream and they'll tell you whatever it is that they think you want to hear, because they might not want you in their face at that particular time. But then you have to be a good business person and think from the other end of the spectrum. They still have that route to cover. So with you leaving with any uncertainty on when or if you're going to come back, that route still needs to be fulfilled. And even if you give them a time frame, that, hey, I got to take a month off, my wife is about to have a baby, you're still a contractor. There's no paternity or maternity leave. They can tell you one thing, but then what happens if that operations supervisor is terminated and a new operations supervisor comes in? Or what happens if that operations supervisor takes another position at another business, and then you come back and that information wasn't forwarded? You're a contractor. So at the end of the day, nothing is promised. They'll tell you one thing, but at the end of the day, they still have that route to, fulfill and make sure it's covered, because they have a contract with whatever retailer, and there's consumers that are waiting for products each and every day. So that's just the unfortunate side of being your own business owner, especially a contractor. Nothing's promised. If you leave something, there's no guarantee it's going to be there when you get back. So, it happens. I'm glad you found something else. Just keep that in mind for next time. Bubble Photography Studios, love the content. Charleston, South Carolina in the building. Shout out to everybody in Charleston, South Carolina. All right, so let's get to it, because I don't want to be on here that long if I don't have to. First things first, hit that like button as you come on in. Come on in. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Shout out to everybody watching on Facebook. Shout out to everybody watching on Instagram. So, boom, let's recap that live stream from was it Thursday? Because have I live streamed since then? I think I did do a short live stream Saturday, but I didn't recap the live stream with Midwest, and then Kirk popped up on the end. I think that was a good live stream. I think it was very informative. I think it was very progressive for the box truck space going into the new year. There are some things that I wrote down in my notes that I actually didn't get a chance to talk about. For some reason, I skipped over peak season and a few other bullet points that I had in my notes. But, there's always be another time. But I think it was a good conversation. I think a lot of questions were answered. I think it shows that, in the space, individuals can come together and create content. And it is what it is. People are going to have mixed feelings about uh you know different lanes. You know what I'm saying? I know I kind of and it ain't really even picking, to be honest with you. And this is where I appreciate that conversation, because something that I had been talking about for a very long time, about the way Amazon was moving, and I would get a lot of flack for it. People would say crazy things to me, like Amazon is never going to go in that direction. Amazon's not going to want to pay for gas. You think Amazon going to want to fill up all those? And to me, it's crazy. Some of the things people would say is crazy. Like, dude, we talking about a company with over $1 trillion market cap. You know what I'm saying? You talking about fuel, and you talking about a company that has over $1 trillion market cap, and you're talking about they not going to want to pay for fuel. Like, to me, that's crazy. But people want to have these debates and argue. So it was good that we finally had that conversation. I had that conversation with someone who actually does it, and actually said, "Man, I thought everyone knew that." Yes, that's the direction they're going in. Because when I said, even though it's coming from I got inside information last year when I put that video out, and also I just got common sense. Like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out. They're purchasing trucks, 40 going north, and then they're contracting DSPs to run that middle mile. They did this twice already in the past. They did it with the DSP program, and they did it with the AFP program. So history is going to continue to repeat itself. On top of that, if they're continuing to have problems with the middle mile, they have to take control of it in a way where they indemnify themselves, like they do on the DSP and the AFP, and micromanage it without employing the people. So they micromanage it by having a DSP, run it like it's their business, but really they're controlling it. So they've indemnified themselves because they got that DSP that's taking the hit. You see what I'm saying? So, so I'm glad I finally had the conversation with someone who's in there and said, "Hey, they sent a memo out last year." You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. That's what it is. And so you just got to keep that in mind. That's why, rates are the way they are. And, going forward, you have to have a long-term plan, because in business, things change. Don't think that something is going to be the same way forever, because at the snap of the finger, they can say, "You know what? That's it. We've completely built out our fleet. We got enough DSPs now. You know what I'm saying? This is the way." You know what I'm saying? Or they continue to build out that lane, right? And that's just going to take more work off the load board. So either way, if you're building a business, or building your business based on another person's business, that's just something you need to think about going into the future. So now that we finally got that out the way, which I'm glad we did, so I don't have to have no more debates with nobody when it comes to that, because it's etched in stone. Amazon put that information. I already knew it. I already had it. I just couldn't divulge the source that gave me that information last year when I put that video out. But now it's coming from, with inside, and it is what it is. So I really appreciate that conversation. I really appreciate him having that conversation with me. I appreciate him further clarifying that in a video I think he put out a few days ago. So, it is what it is. All right. It is what it is. So I want to thank Midwest Box Trucking for coming on the platform and having that conversation with me. So, all right. So, boom. Let's get into the topic at hand that I want to talk about. Make sure you guys hit that like button. I see about 70 people on YouTube. We got 32 likes. I really don't know how many people on Instagram. I see a bunch of people on Instagram, but it don't give me a count. Shout out to everybody that's watching on Facebook. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Come on in. All right, so boom. Let's talk about what we came to talk about tonight. So your box truck business failed, or your box truck business is failing. Now what? Now this is something that this is something that I see with younger people that get into box truck. I really don't hear what I'm about to talk about from middle age or older people. This is younger people, but I want to talk about it today because it's starting to happen. You know, I'm starting to see. I had a young man come in on a live stream last week or maybe a week before last, and just, you know, he's cool now. We got him together. You know, just came in mid live stream and just said, "Oh man, box trucking is trash. Go get your CDL and da 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 and buy a semi truck. Get your CDL, buy a semi truck." So check this out. If your box truck business is failing or you failed and you think the answer is go get a CDL and then go buy a semi truck, you're wrong. Oh, here we go, Mark. Here we go with the doom and gloom. No, it's not the doom and gloom. It's not the doom and gloom. Let's make it make sense. Let's make it make sense. You got a box truck. You went out, you purchased a box truck, you're renting a box truck, whatever. You've been at it for a year and you just can't figure it out. And you think the answer is going to school, getting a CDL, and then going to purchase a semi truck. You think that you're going to be able to succeed in a more advanced niche in transportation and logistics, where the competition is even more fierce and the cost is even more higher. You think the answer to succeeding in logistics is just getting a bigger, more expensive piece of equipment. All right, boom. There's more opportunity. You're right. There is more opportunity. There is more opportunity on that side. Intermodal, you know, flatbed, dry van, whatever. There is more opportunity. But a lot of the reasons why you're failing in the box truck, you're just going to duplicate that over there. And you're going to go under even more. You already robbing from the sustainability of business. You can't figure out how to succeed in a box truck. How are you going to succeed in a bigger, more expensive piece of equipment? You already robbing Peter to pay Paul over here. So you go spend $7,000, right? You go spend $7,000 at 160 Trucking Academy or wherever you go, right? You get your CDL. You go back, you take your box truck, you take it back to whatever finance equipment loan place you bought it from. They already robbing you, ripping you off, right? Because you went to Ryder, you went to Penske, and then they forced you to one of these brokers, and then one of these brokers took you to one of these equipment lending places, and you paying just an exorbitant amount of money for this truck. So you take it back to them because now you got your CDL. And you like, skip this box truck, it's trash, the rates are trash, da 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 da. And you say, hey, I want to trade this truck in for a semi truck. Now, chances are you may not be able to do it, but then again, you go into an equipment loan place, so they see a better opportunity. They see, okay, we can take this $50,000 truck or this $40,000 truck that he's going to end up paying us $90,000 for. All right, we can take that back, give him another piece of equipment for $90,000. He's going to end up paying us $180,000 for it. And then on top of that, he's going to be upside down because he still owes us a shit ton of money for the box truck. So now we're going to tack that on top too, because he doesn't know better. Because if he did know better, he wouldn't be here doing this stupid shit right now. So now you're going to end up paying for the box truck still. Then you're going to buy the semi, pay twice as much for the semi, and still pay for the box truck on top of that. So now you're finna pay about $380,000. That's the first place you messed up at. That's the first place you messed up. So you go do that. And these are things that I'm coming across. These are things that people are telling me. These are things that I get in my DM. These are things that people come in here in my live streams, disrupt the live streams, get to telling people, don't go box truck. Just, I failed. F the box truck. I'm finna go buy me a semi. So now you got this $300,000 semi truck. You go back to the load board. Now, let's break down the reason why you failed in the box truck. Let's break down the reason why you failed in the box truck. One, you didn't want to work. You bought the box truck to go OTR, but you rarely wanted to go OTR. You wanted to be home every Friday in the evening, Saturday, Sunday, so that you can be with Boo Bay. I always talk about it. You running and you worried about Boo Bay. It's called OTR for a reason, over the road. All right, so you barely wanted to run. So that's one reason that you haven't accepted on why you failed with a box truck. Now let's compare that to a semi truck. What makes you think you're going to be able to not run and stay out and stay over the road in a semi truck? You got a more expensive piece of equipment. Yes, more opportunities, but the competition is more fierce. You're dealing with a more advanced, more tenured competition pool on that side than you are with box trucking. You're dealing with a more tenured competition pool on that side. You just did the goofy. You just traded in a box truck because you complained that you failed and you thought the answer was going out and get a bigger, more expensive piece of equipment, right? And you finna pay 3 times as much for it, right? And now you're entering into a cesspool of competition of guys who've been trucking 20, 30, and 40 years. Forget everybody that's been trucking for the past 2-3 years that's in the same position as you. There's a lot of people who never been in trucking that jump straight into the semi side that's struggling. Or let's talk about the people who came in, let's say during the 2010s. We ain't even talking about them. Focus on the people that's been trucking for 20, 30, and 40 years. Yeah, still people that's been trucking 40 years. I know some of them. This is going to be your competition now. How are you going to compete with a $200,000 and some semi truck? Because remember, you trade your box truck in. So what you owed on that box truck, they're going to just tack that on to the semi truck that you finna pay twice for. So imagine what your note going to be. And then you're competing against a guy with an old Peterbilt who ain't got nothing but money, been trucking since 1981, 1980. Like the guy I showed in a video a few months ago, who been trucking so long, that's all he know. Wife died. We had the funeral and it was picking up a load the same evening, right after the funeral. This your competition. Wife died, said, man, I got to keep trucking. Wife died, hey, I forget what she had. Funeral, back in the truck. Truck paid for, been paid for, done swapped engines in it. It's nothing. Living in the truck. Before the old lady died, she was on the truck with him and the dog. The dog and the old lady on the truck with him. This your competition. Ain't no home for this guy. He like a Rolling Stone. His home is what he riding in. He's in his home 24 hours a day. I know people like that don't got no place to go except they truck. I actually called one on one of the live streams. You want to be home every single weekend. What makes you think you're going to be successful in a semi truck? You get a semi truck, bigger piece of equipment, more expensive. You couldn't manage your books with a box truck good. Ain't no coming home every Friday. Yeah, Boo Bay probably cheap. Yeah, she cheating on you. I'm just going to let you know now. So if that's what you worried about, well, then you need to stop worrying, because you got a $300,000 truck you got to pay for, fam. Ain't no coming home. Well, man, Mark, you know, I grew up in South Carolina. I grew up in Georgia. I grew up in North Carolina. You know, I heard the rates is real good over there in the Midwest, but man, you know, it's messed up over here, man. Well, remember, you didn't want to bring your box truck up to Chicago. You know, we kept telling you, you know, come up to the Midwest, work the Midwest, run from the Midwest down to Texas. The snow. I don't want the snow to get under my truck, and, you know, I'm scared to drive in the snow. See, you can't worry about none of that. You ain't going to be able to worry about none of that. Yeah, I'm talking to you. All the 22, 23, 25, 29-year-olds that think they could come in here and talk this talk and come into my DMs and ask me for advice. And when I tell you the truth, you want to go back and forth because somebody told you something else. Well, I'm going to give you the reality of it. If you failed in a box truck, you're going to fail in a semi truck as an owner operator. Now, if you came to me and you said, yo, I failed in a box truck or I'm failing in a box truck, I'm thinking about getting my CDL and becoming a company driver. Now, that's admirable. I say, you know what? I admire you. You know what I'm saying? That's smart. Why? Because you know what? You accepted defeat. You're going to go out. You're going to work for a company. You're going to learn from a company. You're going to utilize their equipment while learning. And then if you later on decide to give it a shot again at a more advanced level, but after you've had basic, intermediate, and advanced training from running for a company that's paying you as a company driver, then I think that is better. But, you know, people get caught up in this whole boss mentality stuff. I used this analogy before, I think, maybe. It's just like, you know, Super Mario Brothers. Super Mario Brothers 1, right? And you get the game and you never played it, and then you go straight to level 8. And you got to fight King Koopa. Now, you ain't never played the game, so you don't know how to throw fireballs. You don't know that you can jump up and smash the turtles. You don't know about the hidden tunnels. You don't know nothing. You go straight to level 8. You put the cheat code in. You go straight to level 8, and King Koopa fucking you up. Excuse my language on Kwanzaa. King Koopa messing you up. Happy Kwanzaa to everybody, too. Because you skipped a bunch of steps. You skipped a bunch of steps. You skipped all the learning curve, all the failures that you need so that when you do get to level 8, because you learn from your failures, that when you do get to level 8, you're equipped to at least have a fighting chance to beat the boss. How you gonna be King Koopa, fam? You don't even know you could throw a fireball. Same thing with trucking. Like, you think you fail at something that's less advanced than this, and you think you're gonna just be able to go here and succeed. You robbing from the sustainability of business. You barely have enough working capital. Listen, a truck breakdown is different from a box truck. I had a semi-trucker on the show on a Wiseman earlier. He got stuck in the snow. It's $5,000 for the wrecker to come pull him out the snow. And he wasn't flipped over. He wasn't sideways. Actually, the left side of the semi and trailer, the tractor and trailer, was still on the ground, was still on dry ground. It was the right side, I believe, that was in the snow. $5,000. You ready for that? You ready for that? You got the working capital? You think you can, you know, figure that out? It's a different ball game. Where is this mentality that people think that bigger is better? Or this one right here. Well, man, Mark, you know, I got this one box show. We had a guy come on the channel about a month ago. Hit the link, came up. Well, man, I'm finna go get a second truck. Well, we ain't doing so. How you doing in the business? Not so good, but that's okay. We finna go get this second and third truck, and then we should be making money. How? You like the guy who fell in the box truck that's thinking buying a semi truck is the answer. You're failing with one truck, and you think the answer to your problem is going out and buying a second and a third truck. I say it all the time. You failing in one truck. That doesn't mean second truck equals profit. No, you're duplicating whatever you're doing. When you scale, it's because the business is doing good. You figured out how to make the business successful. You're profiting. The business is sustaining on its own. It's able to pay you payroll. And now the business can scale itself. You go get a second truck, you're duplicating the success of the first truck. It's the same thing. You're failing in one truck. The answer is not go get a second truck. So this truck failed, but if we get the second truck, then that's going to be profit. No, you're going to duplicate that. You're going to be failing times 2 or times however many new trucks you go get. So the answer to a failed box truck business is not scaling. The answer to a failed box truck business is not, well, I just go get a semi truck and now I got more options. Yeah, you got more options, but you still lost. You gonna go trade in a truck and be upside down and go get a semi truck, and you think you're going to be able to compete with them good old boys on that load board? How? You already coming in with a high initial cost because you already did the fool. Just the thought, when people come to me with this stuff, like, it be going through my, and then you want to go back and forth with me. Just the thought of it, how? You think that side is any better than the box truck side? No, it's worse. And they'll tell you that for the same reason I'm telling you now. A lot more competition. Listen, that barrier to entry makes all the difference in the world on that side. You want to come in with a $250,000 piece of equipment. Well, at least that's what you're paying for it, right? That's what you're going to end up paying for it, maybe a little more. 20-something-year-old that thinks they know everything, all right? And you're going to compete against Bubba. Bubba don't even take showers at the truck stop. When you go to the truck stop in your box truck and then one of them truckers, them old country truckers pull in with his suspenders, with one strap on and the shirt tucked in and then it's untucked on the other side and he's scruffy and his stomach is all the way out to here and his back is all the way back there because his stomach is so big because he's been trucking for 30 years that his back can't stand straight up. So he got to arch his back like that to support the big belly. And then he walk past you and you catch that whiff. And then it crossed your head. But damn, I know how his truck smell. He ain't taking no showers. And see, you a city boy. You a city slicker. So you like to, stay fresh. You're going to take you a shower every day. Plus you got a $300,000 truck. So now you got to take your showers every day. And you doing all the things that they not doing. This is your competition. And this is going to be the guy that's going to be able to outbid you. And it ain't going to be hard. It ain't going to be hard because you going to do because you failing in box truck and you thinking the answer is to just go trade your box truck in and go get a semi truck. And all your answers are going to be solved. Nah, you're going to fail even. You're going to fall on your face even harder. So, Mark, what should I do? What should I do? Well, I got the answer for you. Reassess. Go back to the drawing board. Do the things that you should have did in the beginning that you didn't do. Right? Scaling up means you've already seen success and you figured something out. You figured it out and you're able to go to the next level. It doesn't mean I'm failing. The next level is going to save me. No. So what you need to do is you need to go back to the drawing board and start from square one. Most of the time, more times than not, if you're failing in a box truck, and I don't care what the economy is like. If you fell in a box truck, the first thing you didn't do was create a plan. And then you got some people say, oh man, I don't need a plan. And you know what? That live stream when those two people was coming here trolling, you know what both of them did? Amazon. So what's your plan now? You don't need a plan. We could just run Amazon Relay. So what's your plan now? Now that it's official that they phasing it out. What's your plan now? Since you don't need a plan, what's the plan now? So go back to the drawing board, create a plan. It's a lot of people out there that I'm starting to uncover that got equipment that, you know, they're paying, you know, an exorbitant amount for because, you know, they went through brokers and then the brokers turned them over to equipment lending or equipment financing places. If you're in one of those situations, then to be honest with you, you gotta thug that out. You gotta, you know, whatever you got, 4 years, 5 years, you're gonna have to take that hit, keep pushing, which means you're gonna have to keep working and you're gonna have to work a little bit harder. Like, what I don't understand is why people get into this business and they think that, you know, I can go out for 4 days and then spend the 5th day driving back cross country back home. No, you decided to come out here. That means you need to come out here. That means you need to stay out here. If it requires you staying, you know, over the weekend or whatever your cycle is, to be in position, to be in an area where, you know, you can start fresh and be able to get good loads, then that's what you got to do. Especially, you know, if you live in a bad area. You know, if you live in a bad area, now you're wasting time coming home, and then you got to waste time trying to find load out of this bad area back over to the Midwest or back over to where the nearest good area is for you to run loads. This is the life you chose. This is the life you chose. Being a business owner is difficult decisions. This is the life you chose. Did nobody choose this for you? So the point I'm trying to make now is bigger ain't always better if you failing. Or more ain't always better. You got to figure out what you're doing. That's just like a person who can't succeed in a cargo van. If you can't make it in a cargo van, what makes you think you're going to be able to make it in a box truck when there's a shit ton of opportunities in a cargo van? You don't even got to run under the restrictions and regulation and compliances of a box truck. You can literally run to your heart's desire, and you can't figure that out. What makes you think you're going to be able to step up in a more advanced niche with box truck, and if you're unsuccessful in a cargo van? Same thing with the box truck and the semi truck. I know owner operators that have been owner operators for years that are having a tough time. Now, the company drivers, for the most part, was winning on that side. At this moment, the company drivers are what's winning right now. The tables have kind of turned. You saw what, was it JB Hunt? How many loads they took off the load board this year and put them on a train. That was a lot of loads that were supposed to go on a truck, but they said, you know what, we're going to take them off. We're buying all these intermodal rail cars. I forgot the number, but it was a lot. They pulled a bunch of those loads that were intended for trucks. They pulled them off and they put them on the trains. So who's going to those rail yards picking them up? Those company drivers. So what I'm saying is not intended to scare you. It's intended to help you make better business decisions. You know, you have to make better, well-informed business decisions. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this is, I see it mainly from just that young generation, and like listen, I know Instagram, you know, is full of people that, you know, and I'm not thinking about anybody specific. I'm just, you know, whenever I go on Instagram, it just hits you like a ton of bricks. It's just everybody's trying to sell you something. They're telling you you could be a millionaire here, you could be a gazillionaire there, you could be a billionaire here. And I know the younger generation, they just don't want to take the time, sit down and do the research and educate themselves on what they're, looking to invest in. But here's the thing. You got to understand what you're investing in. If you're going to spend your money and you're going to invest in something, there's no cliff notes. Let me not say cliff notes. I'm not, once again, the younger generation, they don't know what cliff notes is. There's no cheat code. There's no cheat code to success. The road to success is long, it's hard, it's stressful, it's boring, it's not easy. There's no cheat code. There's no workaround. You got to go through the steps. All right? So, stop with well, man, Mark, the box truck is trash. I'm just going to get the CDL and then I'm going to go buy a semi-truck. Nah, fam, that ain't the answer. You're going to fail. You're going to fail, especially if you already failed in a box truck. There's no way you're going to succeed. Box trucking is way easier than semi-trucking. Way easier. Way easier. I just don't understand the logic. I don't understand the logic. Got over 2 million miles under his belt. You talking about the driver, right? Competing against a driver that got over 2 million miles. You see those guys with those Peterbilts? I talked about those old good old boys before with the Peterbilts. With the long catwalk. They got the long catwalk. Whole truck custom. Whole truck custom. Got the American flag painted on the side. All chrome so clean. You could eat off of it. You could lick the chrome. The chrome clean. Got the long catwalk. Whole truck custom. Whole tractor custom. So you know what I see when I see a trucker like that with one of them old Peterbilts that spent that type of money to get it customized? That's a trucker that ain't got none but money. And that's going to be your competition. Now, that level of competition is nothing to a person who's tenured, who understands that lane. But if you coming from box trucking and you a failed box trucker, how you think you're going to compete against him on the load board? And you already upside down in your box truck. You upside down. Ain't no bank going to give you no money. You think you're going to go to Chase or Wells Fargo? Nah, you're going to go right back to whatever the equipment loan place is. And they probably going to stick you in another loan because now they can hold you longer and they can make more money from you. Because they still going to charge you for that box truck. It's just like a regular car. You go buy a new car today and you going to trade it in next year. You take out a 5-year financing, you still owe for 4 years. So they're going to trade it in. They're going to sack the difference on the new car. So you're going to be upside down on this car still. And they're just going to tack that onto that new car. So you still paying for that other car. But you're so thirsty because they switched the body up because you didn't do your research. See, now if you would have did your research, you would have known that the 2024 they was going to switch the body. But you was thirsty. You was thirsty because you came up on some little money or you started dating this new chick. And she was looking at you different when she got in the car because her old boyfriend had that S580. He had that S580. So you kind of, like Midwest said, you kind of dating outside your realm, and she kind of looking around when she get in the car. So you go out and you do the goofball. You didn't do your research. So you go out, you already purchased a car that you can't afford, but now you done got it. You think you doing it, and then boom. They changed the body up. So now you go back to the dealer, thirsty, do the goofball, get the new body, but you still got to pay for the old one. So they're going to tack that on, and now you're paying even more. That's the same thing a person do who fail in a box truck and then think semi-truck is the answer. Reason you fell in a box truck, you didn't do your research. You didn't do your research. You didn't get the right guidance. or a combination of both. You're not willing to do the work, or you're not willing to pivot, you're not willing to change, or you're not willing to expand your horizons or go in areas where you didn't want to go. Meaning, I got this radius. I'm from the southeast. I only want to stay in the southeast and the south. But man, it's not working for you. You may have to travel up north. Listen. When you start a business, you don't dictate. You don't get a chance to dictate. The business is going to dictate. The business is greedy for money. You got to go where the money at, fam. If one thing ain't working, then you got to go where the money at. The business is going to do what you push it to do. If you ain't pushing the business to succeed, then you got to jumpstart the business in order for the business to sustain. You got to jumpstart the business and put the business on the right path in order for it to sustain. If you don't jumpstart the business, put the work into the business, invest time into the business to make it successful. So ultimately, if you start a box truck business and you never seen success, the business didn't fail, you failed. You failed. Business never had a chance because you never took it. You never got it there. You weren't willing to do what it takes. OTR ain't work for you. You didn't want to pivot. You didn't want to go to curbside. Or when I was telling you to go to curbside, you waited to the last minute and then it was too late. You know man need work. You know man need work. You can go get man. Y'all can go. Final mile contracts are always available. But you don't want to do no lifting. You don't want to do no work. Man need work. He steady asking you, man, because put me on, because put me on, because I'm trying to get out these streets, because I'll do whatever. All you gotta do is give man an opportunity. Y'all go get y'all final mile contract. Boom, there you go, $750 a day or more, depending on what market you in and what account you get, how many days it is, how many stops you get per day. And it's guaranteed. But you don't want to do that because you don't want to do work. You thought you was going to get a truck, do a few loads a week, drive about 2.5 or 2 3/4 days, and in 4 months, because this is what I heard you say, and in 4 months you was going to go get you a Hellcat. Didn't work out like that, huh? Didn't work out like that, did it? I know it didn't. I know it didn't. But a semi truck ain't the answer. It ain't the answer. Amazon provides equal opportunities to grow a successful business, and some folks hate that. Amazon provides equal opportunity to grow a successful business. I don't think people hate it. I think what people fail to realize with Amazon is that anytime they can go left. And every time they tell you they're changing, people ignore the signs. And then when things change, it's always, trash the company. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think people hate on Amazon. I just think what at least what I'm talking about is prepare for the future and prepare for the change. Don't get caught left holding the bag. If it wasn't for Amazon Relay, the minority community would be hit hard in the trucking industry. I disagree with you. I disagree. Not too many older white male truckers want to pull Amazon out of pride. I don't know about that. I don't think it has anything to do with color. Because what you're saying, if it wasn't for Amazon Relay, the minority community would be hit hard in the trucking industry. So basically what you're saying is Amazon put leniencies in play, and because of those leniencies, people in the African American community were able to take advantage of the company being lenient. So basically, the company was lenient, but now since they're tightening shit up, you know why they were lenient? Because they had an overabundance of freight that they needed to move, and if they ran under compliance, or they ran under strict guidelines, let's say like UPS and FedEx, a lot of that shit wouldn't got delivered. So yeah, they were lenient when they needed to be. And you got a lot of people like you say, now I don't look at it the way you look at it. Because you're saying if it wasn't for Amazon, the minority community would be hit hard. So what was the majority community doing that they weren't hit hard? So that's basically telling me that the minority community had their shit in order. See, that's how I look at it. And that's what it really is. You heard what Midwest say. You go to the Amazon facility, you got piss bottles all in the yard where they park the truck. Like, come on, man. Let's keep it a bean. See, I'm not gonna be the person that plays that race card. No, it's gonna be about accountability. So I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. They were lenient. And then guess what? When that leniency started to fade away, who started to get weeded out? Why? Because they shit wasn't in order. So nah, I don't agree with that. You say, I know it's that true. Listen, trucking is equal opportunity. If you're an owner operator, you go on a load board, it's equal opportunity. The way here's the thing. So you saying if you go on a load board, if a black guy and a white guy goes on a load board and they're bidding for a load, do you think the shipper, if one company is ABC Trucking, another company is 123 Trucking, and they got an MC number, there's nothing to, distinguish one from the other, being a Caucasian company or a minority company, Hispanic or black? Do you think it's not equal opportunity? Of course it's equal opportunity. I don't think that really has anything to do with it. I think Amazon was lenient during the pandemic, right? And anybody that runs it knows it. They were lenient because they needed shit moved. And if they ran more strict compliance, that would have closed the door to a lot of people. If your shit is in order, your shit is in order. I don't give a goddamn what color. You could be green. But as soon as they start tightening shit up, who's getting weeded out? So man, no, I don't agree with that. I don't listen. White males get better freight opportunities, in my opinion. I don't listen. I think trucking is probably, especially if you're an owner operator, you're bidding on a load board. I don't think race is a factor there. I think about whoever can run the load at an efficient cost and whoever gets to it first. And I don't think race is a factor. So I just don't. I don't. So I'm located in Georgia, want to drive cargo van. What did it say? High tops Monday through Friday, but hold on. But came home every day. Is it possible I can do OTR Southeast region and come back every day, or not possible? In a cargo van, I think cargo van, when you're doing OTR, it's harder than a box truck. You know what I'm saying? Because you have even more limited capacity. So trying to stick to a certain region, everybody I know that runs OTR for a cargo van, they all over the place. So I don't know. I don't think so. And that kind of goes back to what I was talking about earlier. Everybody wants to stay in this zone, and that can be fine in some cases, but you're in the Southeast. It'd be different. Let's say if you was in the Midwest, then that's a possibility, but that Southeast is different, and you in a cargo van. So trucking is 100% relationships and the least races in it. Here's the thing. I agree with you, but then on the racist part, no, it's racism. It's racism in everything. But what his argument is if it wasn't for Amazon, a lot of minorities wouldn't be in trucking. And my rebuttal is the only reason you're saying that is because of Amazon having a lax compliance with which they've been tightening up for the past year and a half, 2 years. If the compliance wasn't lax, you wouldn't be saying that. You would be having a different sentiment. So then my rebuttal on top of that is the minority need to get their shit together so that they can compete with the majority. Instagram, y'all got to come over to Facebook or YouTube. It's been an hour, so they kicking me off Instagram. They kicking me off Instagram, so you got to come over to YouTube. It's Man in them that's pissing in bottles, throwing the shit out at the Amazon yard. It's Man in them that's at the Amazon yard that got Hector or Jose pull up in his pickup truck and under the truck working on the truck at the Amazon yard, like Midwest was talking about. That's Man. That's Man and Hector in them. Your minorities. So now what's your rebuttal? You think they're going to continue to let Man piss in a bottle and use their parking lot as a disposal ground for all his piss bottles? Or complain that the post office is closed and he don't want to wait? No, we can just get a DSP. We can order thousands of trucks. We can give the DSP a minimal amount of money to micromanage while we indemnify ourselves from any and all liability. Amazon went on a buying spree in 2017, 2018, buying up a bunch of healthcare companies. So we're able to provide insurance at a fraction of the cost because we own the company. See, nobody understood why he was buying all those healthcare companies back then. So let me help you understand. So now we can provide them with healthcare at a fraction of the cost. It's not costing us anything because we own it. We can pay them $20 to $24 an hour depending on market. And we don't have to worry about them complaining. So now we're getting the same shit done at a fraction of the cost. See, we don't have to worry about the shit sitting on the load board and having to raise the cost and this, that, and the third. No, we could just send a guy out for $22 an hour for 8 hours. Do the math. $20 an hour, 8 hours, $22 an hour, 8 hours. Do the math. Trucks ain't shit. We Amazon. Buy them wholesale anyway. We not gonna pay what you pay. Gas, like when people say gas, like, dude, are you serious? Gas, fuel, it's getting charged back to the DSP. They got a company called Element that's managing the fleet. So whatever happens to those vehicles, it goes back to the DSP anyway. Amazon just fronting the cost. They're duplicating the success they've seen in the DSP for the final mile and the AFP program. They're streamlining it and they're micromanaging it. I don't think race has anything to do with it. I think if a black entrepreneur comes in there and his shit is together, he can compete right alongside a white entrepreneur. It's just your shit got to be together. I don't, I don't. People are going to be upset when they find out Amazon is slowly adding their own drivers quietly, and there's people who think Amazon is the only place going to have a ride awakening. Well, I've been talking about this for over a year. But you know what? I don't. If they have a rude awakening, that's just on them because the writing is on the wall. It's on the wall. Only a fool. Well, let me not say that. Only a person who just don't know no better. I just, I don't know. Only a person who just don't know no better would be ignoring all the signs. But that separates, visionaries from people who just live in day to day. You got to be able to read the writing on the wall. You got to be able to forecast and plan for the future and for what's ahead because anything can happen and you got to be ready and ready to pivot if it does. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Yeah, but I think there is a level of racism in trucking. But for the most part, with Nightcrawler's argument, I don't I I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I don't. I don't. Uh, Kevin Burr says that's crazy. I was about to get a CDL, and once again, Mark, you're making sense of it. Thanks for the say, sir. It's all good. You want to build a business or get rich, you got to sacrifice. That means buy, boo, babe. Listen, I think people's personal relationships, whether it be like significant others or even homies or friends, will hold you back in life. You know what I'm saying? When you step into entrepreneurship, outside of sacrifices, that you got to make, one of the big sacrifice is surrounding yourself with like-minded, ambitious people. If you don't have those type of people around you, then you got to remove yourself from people who just just not going in the direction that you're trying to go in. If the people around you are not encouraging you and pushing you up and then you're reciprocating that to them, then nah, it's not gonna work. You're gonna get pulled right back into that trap. If I'm a new box truck person and I'm OTR and I'm out on the road and I got a homie that's in the hood and I'm running and he called me or she called me or whatever on the Tuesday, Wednesday and tell me about a party that's going on Saturday and what I'm going to do, man, you need to come to this party, man. Just, man, find you a load coming back or whatever the case may be, then that's not the person you need around you. That person that knows about a party, knows that you're just starting your business, that's a phone call they shouldn't even make. If they making that call to you and trying to coerce you to come back home to attend the party, then that's not a person you need around you no more. The person that you need around you is the person who's not going to make that call. You know what? I ain't finna call him. He out on the road. Let him do his thing because, man, you know what? I need his business to be successful because my name is Man and I ain't got shit. And I'm hoping that if he's successful, he's able to come back and show me the ropes and pull me up out of this hellhole because all I know is the block. So I need him to make it. Those are the people you need around you and the people that are encouraging you to do better. You need a lot of self-ambition too, but you gotta listen, the most successful people have small circles. The most successful people have small circles because everybody you came up with ain't gonna be able to go along for the ride. They're not gonna be able to go along for the journey because not everybody is gonna have the same mindset. Not everybody gonna have the same mindset. So, you gotta let people go, and that's tough, but it is what it is. I'm currently working. I'm currently a company semi truck driver running OTR. I love it. Kongs, right. So tell him that the company driver's winning right now. He ain't lied. I more 10 funerals already. He's living in his suitcase, basically. Yep, pretty much. Let me see. Let's see. Mark, I have a CDLA and quit driving in June and been making more doing apps in my Transit Connect. You local. See, you in the market. That goes back to what I was talking about earlier with the guy from the Southeast. Market dependent. So you in a market, you know what I'm saying, that you making decent money in the cargo van. Was you were you company driving or were you a owner operator? I forgot. 1K a month for insurance to do Amazon relay in a 16-foot box truck. Mark, do you think it's worth it to pay that money? 1,000 a month for insurance in a 16-footer ain't bad. That ain't bad at all. Do I think it's worth it to pay to do you think it's worth it to pay that money, go to insurance? What, 1,000 a month in a 16-footer? That ain't bad. That's about normal. So, whatever you do, it don't really matter. That's normal for that truck. So whatever you do, that's what you're going roundabout what you're gonna pay. So yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, if you decide to do Amazon, then yeah. If you think there's a level of racism in trucking, you're blind. Most companies, no minority sign up. When I say there's a level of racism, I'm not speaking in terms of companies. I'm not speaking in terms of companies, because if I was speaking in terms of companies, I wouldn't disagree with Nightcrawler. If you listen to what I said to Nightcrawler, I disagreed with his thoughts on Amazon. I said they're not discriminating. When I say there's racism in trucking, I'm talking about amongst drivers. I'm talking about amongst drivers. Being a minority going through some of these states, going to some of these truck stops and some of these restaurants in the middle of nowhere. I've dealt with it. That's what I'm talking about. There's racism amongst people in the actual business. I've walked into a cafe in Kentucky coming from where was I driving up from Miami on a long distance move. I know what that's like. I've stopped downstate Indiana for fuel, and at a truck stop, and the guy behind me, I'm in the middle of nowhere. Indiana is very racist, especially southern Indiana. Which way you headed, boy? There's another trucker. Had his cowboy boots on, his cowboy hat. Said, which way you headed, boy? Not talking about the companies. Like I said, if I was talking about the companies, I wouldn't have disagreed with Nightcrawler. I'm talking about amongst drivers. There's still a lot of good old boy truckers. Those are a lot of your 30 and 40-year truckers. For the most part. That's who I'm talking about. It's racism in any business you in. Shit. You go to restaurants, it's racism. You might have a racist waiter or waitress. You may have a racist salesman at the car dealership. There's racism everywhere. I've seen it plenty of times in trucking. So yeah, there is racism in trucking. I've dealt with it. I've dealt with it in the moving industry. You go to certain people's homes, they get out your way. You go to some ethnic groups' homes, they follow you around the whole house. I'm not gonna say with ethnic groups, but it's two ethnic groups that you go to their house, they're gonna follow you. Every single where you go, they're gonna follow you. They're gonna be in your way, making sure that you don't steal nothing. Dealt with it. Little 100 square foot bedroom with 3 guys in there trying to wrap dressers and pull up the mattress. Ain't got no room to put the mattress so you could break the bed down, and the customer want to stand in there with his hands behind his back looking over your shoulder. Ain't shit in there of value. A bed, a dresser. What, we gonna put the dresser in our back pocket? We gonna put the king size mattress. I'm gonna tuck it under my belt. So they want to make sure you don't break nothing. They want to make sure you don't steal nothing. So yeah, it's racism in everything you do. I'm not talking about from the company standpoint. I got my little brother, him to drive an 18-wheeler 10 years ago. He told me that was the best decision he could have ever made. 10 years later, he got me into it. That's what's up. I think Amazon requires a 24, 26 box truck with lift gate. Yo, Mark, just got my truck. They wanted 25,000, went with 22. They took it. 2019 Freightliner, 250,000 miles. Congratulations. I think that, yes, people should focus on making their trucking business successful, but they should also be looking at other businesses as well, not just trucking. I think, here's my thoughts on that. I think trucking should be used as a stepping stone. All right, I think it should be used as a stepping stone for something else later on down the line. I think, and not just me thinking that, I think long are the days of a 30, 40 plus year. Listen, the reason why these guys that are still around trucking after 40 years is for the same reason in that documentary, that guy that we highlighted. It's because they have to. And the reason they have to is the same reason I'm preaching to you as far as getting your affairs in order. I don't talk about healthcare. I don't talk about retirement, because the mass majority of people that are having an issue, even people that are succeeding, listen to even just testimonials, I still have yet for one person to say, well, this is coming out for my health care, and then this is going into retirement. I'm matching my retirement. Like, no one has said that. They say all they fixed expenses, they variable expenses. I never hear health insurance. Your health insurance should be coming out of your business. So this is why these guys are trucking 30 and 40 years, because that money, as it was coming in, they were applying it and putting it and appropriating it to where it needed to go, but no one had a plan for retirement. You're your own owner, operator, you're your own business owner. So it's your responsibility to set yourself up for retirement. And a lot of people don't want to do it because they don't want to take additional, they profit margin, let's say maybe 10%, right? They don't want to take an additional 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, whatever percent, and set that to the side and don't touch it and allow it to grow over the years so that they can have something to look forward to in the future, or invest money into other things, stocks, real estate. They can't even invest into real estate and shit like that because they've already been robbing from the sustainability, the margins. They don't know how to practice delayed gratification. So you're right. You know what I'm saying? You're right. I think, trucking in today's times is a stepping stone. I think if you come in with a plan, let's say your plan is 10 years, you work your ass off for 10 years, and all while you're working your ass off, you have a plan on how you're taking your money and investing into other avenues that are going to make money for you. And that, after 10 years, you're able to, remove yourself if that's what you want to do and go into something else. Especially final mile. Let's say you're doing final mile and you have no plans on scaling. How many years do you think you can physically do that type of work yourself? If you just want to get a truck and just go out there and do it on your own, which you can run up a lot of money, but like, that's not something I see a person doing 20, 30 years. And the guys that, listen, the guy that was in the document, even the guy that I know personally that's been trucking for 40 years, when I called him on the live stream, his truck was broke down and I had to loan him money. I hadn't talked to this dude in 3 or 4 years. You've been trucking for 40 years. Ain't no, like, if you still working for, listen, if you still running a truck for 40 years, that means I got to say a bad word. I mean, you fucked up somewhere along the line. And that's a fact. That's just a fact. Didn't plan for the future. It's your responsibility as a business owner. So, hey, the Hellcat, the trips, you may have to hold off on that because you may not have enough money to set aside for those types of things, because what's coming in, what you're able to pay yourself, you're only able to, take care of your responsibilities, sustain the business, take care of your responsibilities after you pay yourself, and appropriate a small percentage of that into retirement and into healthcare. You see the average box truck grossing for a person that's running hard in any lane, let's say 20 grand on the average for a person that's working, for a person that's really working. All right. Now, your margin is small. So a lot of that is going to cost. So let's say you pay yourself, this for laughs and giggles, let's say you pay yourself $100,000. Now, after taxes, after living, and that's a high number, because in actuality, after you cover all your expenses for the business, you're really not going to be able to pay yourself that much. 75 is more likely. But after taxes and after you pay all your bills at home, depending on your level of living, and you got kids and things like that, that's really not a lot of money in today's times. You know what I'm saying? 75 ain't really no money. A person got to really be making like a buck, I think, to really be comfortable. Some people may disagree with me, you know what I'm saying? Some people may disagree with me. But I think, man, a buck. You can do it with 75. Then I got to factor in where I live at. A lot of people live in the middle of nowhere. So 75 may be good. 75 can't do nothing really for me. You know what I'm saying? And it's not because I'm live a certain type of lifestyle. It's just the market I live in. It's expensive to live. So, yeah. What I mean, racism to exist in trucking, it does exist. Did we have this argument? Brokers target minorities because they know they sign any documents. That's why they give small numbers, because most of them came from it. So this just goes back to what I said. Listen, if a broker targets a minority, because from what you're saying is they stupid, you know what I'm saying? I'm just using the word because I don't feel like thinking of a big politically correct word. So you saying brokers target minorities because they feel like they can get over on them, then that's on that minority owner operator for not standing on business and not knowing what's fair and what's not fair. So is it racism, or is it on the business owner for not being a savvy business owner and not standing on business? Listen, trucking and a lot of businesses are dog eat dog. It may come a time in business where you may have to, be a shrewd business person. That's just, so a broker that's targeting a person who they feel, let's say they're a minority and they feel like, man, this person really don't know no better, then that's more cut for him. Is it racism, or is it just business? Now, if what you're saying is they say the mass majority of minorities just don't know no better, then that's an issue that we as the minorities need to discuss and start holding some accountability sessions for our people for being so naive and taking cheap loads and not understanding business and not putting ourselves in a better position in business. I don't think that's on them. If I'm going to bid against somebody for, let's say, a moving job, and the customer called me, asked for a quote, and I say, well, how many other quotes you got? And they say, well, this company gave me a quote for this much, and this company gave me a quote for that much. If I want the business, I'm going to undercut them. That's just being shrewd. So if I'm a broker and I'm off a commission, my job is to sell you a load. And if I can sell the load for cheaper to boost my commission up, well, you think I'm going to have feelings? Or you think I'm thinking about a bigger paycheck? I'm thinking about a bigger paycheck, family. So if I was a broker, you think listen, if I was a broker, Listen, I wouldn't give a goddamn if you was green, blue, yellow, pink, turquoise, fuchsia, magenta. I wouldn't care. It's my job to sell a load. Now, I'll have a moral compass to a certain, I'm not going to sell you a load where I know you're just going to operate at a loss. But if I know you're going to profit and shit, I throw out a number and you take the first number off the bat, what I'm going to be like, nah, you know what? Maybe you shouldn't do it for 1,000. You know what? Maybe you should be at 1,200. No, if I say 1,000 and you take the G, then man, sold. And I'm black telling you this. Why? Because it's my job to sell. I'm a broker. Doesn't mean I'm racist. It means I'm doing a good job. It's the business owner's responsibility to understand their business to not get got. Or not be thirsty and accept whatever. So I disagree. See, you thinking race and shit like that. I'm thinking business. Because here's the thing. If something don't make sense to me, I got the right to say yes or no. You could be racist. But if you're targeting me with some bullshit because I'm black and you're white and you don't want to give it to me, guess what? Whether it's racism or not, that's the driving factor on why you're doing that to me. I could still got the right to say no. So even if that is the case of what you're saying, that means the minorities, us as a people, we need to hold ourselves accountable for doing dumb shit. Because racism been existed ever since I was born, and it ain't going nowhere. So now what's the excuse? What's the excuse? Because racism ain't going nowhere. Felix said, I do owe somewhat my success to you, Mark. Appreciate you. I appreciate that you could let me know that after we having such a tough debate on levels of racism. I think racism exists in a lot of things, and I don't think it's going anywhere. I just think that business owners need to make well-informed decisions. If you're an owner-operator, you need to make well-informed decisions. You need to educate yourself on what's right and what's wrong, and you don't have to accept the shit. If I go to a restaurant and they treat me like shit, and it's been reports that they've been racist before, and I continue to go to that restaurant, then I accept it because I'm naive and I'm ignorant. Why would I go somewhere where I know or accept somewhere I know that there's a possibility of racism so it can spit in my food or some shit? I don't know what's going on back there. Same thing if I'm dealing with a broker and I know this broker is a jerk and I know he's racist. Everybody knows this one particular company firm is racist. And I go there. I'm going to get treated a certain type of way. I know I'm going to get treated a certain type of way. And if I know I'm getting treated a certain type of way and they offer me something and I know it's bogus and I accept that, it's on me. I don't have to do business with them. He to the best low. Danny O, what up? Yo, boss man, do you know anything about pace runners? I've heard of them, but I don't know anything about them. No truck working 7 days a week is doing Amazon doing 150K. If they are, they're spending most of their in fuel. Well, there's some people out here that saying they doing it. I had a guy message me last week, say he did it, and there's some content creators that say they doing it. So I don't, I've never ran it. So like when I did that video, I said based off what I saw from content creators and what people have told me. So Felix, I don't know. You're gonna have to debate that with them. I take people's word for it until they show me or prove otherwise. So I can only go with what people say. You say you worked the whole year running hard, and today show you made 115. Yeah, so I don't know. You got to talk to those people that said they making that type of money and see what they doing. Maybe they got some little underhanded things that they doing that they don't want to talk about. So, Big Herm said curbside pickup would be best for a 16-foot. Yeah, so if you're running a 16-foot for that person who's in the chat who keeps inquiring about a 16-footer, running that, OTR is going to be tough. It's going to be tougher than obviously a 26-footer because you have less capacity, and you got people that are running 26-footers now that are having a tough time. So with having less capacity, you're going to have a tougher time. I think a 16-footer should stay local. I think it should stay local. I think there's dedicated runs you can get. Well, I know there's dedicated runs you can get for a 16-footer. I don't think 16-footer is something that you would run over the road. I just don't think. If that's your game plan coming in, because I see you keep inquiring about it in the chat, I think you need to do a little bit more research. Do some more research before you make that decision. I don't want you to get out there and not be what you think it's going to be. Not racism, but immoral for sure. I can agree with you on that. As an owner of a successful trucking company which grossed over 100K in my first year, your videos played an intricate part in gathering crucial information to remain successful. Appreciate it. Appreciate that. It is true. Amazon is tightening the logistics screws of their company, and not every bubblegum LLC can slip in so easily. With the new active authority, wait time, taking selfies during check-in, cracking down on double brokering, to the difference between an A+ and an A- performance score is 1%. The content I upload on my page is strictly Amazon relay strategy for semi-trucks. When Amazon starts to tighten the screws, I upload a video titled Amazon Relay will make you a better driver and better business owner, advising truckers to get their shit together and do better business. Salute to you. Salute to you, man. Appreciate you for coming in. Appreciate you for coming in. Appreciate you for, divulging that information and just being, transparent. And this is something I talked about this stuff like around this time last year, and it's like every time I say it, people get mad. But listen, the truth is the truth. I'm just happy that people that run Amazon, are saying it now so people can take this stuff more serious. I don't have to run Amazon to see writings on the wall. And I can pull up the videos where I said this shit over a year ago. But I'm not going to do that, though, because somebody said, Mark, you don't got to keep telling us you told us this a year ago. Okay, well, then there's a lot of new people who may want to know. But, the writing is on the wall. And, sometimes you could a more seasoned business owner may be able to see and spot things that a less tenured person can spot. It probably just doesn't even know what to look for, doesn't even understand, what's going on. And I can understand that. But yeah, to, everybody's running Amazon and just anything, you know what I'm saying? You always have to, and I remember when I first got my first big contract, final mile contract. Listen, I was naive. I thought it was going to last forever. Like, I remember having thoughts of, man, I'm going to build my whole business off this one account, and 20, 30 years, I'll be able to just pass it down from generation to generation. Like, I didn't know no better. You see what I'm saying? This is why I can sit here and tell you all this shit. You see what I'm saying? I didn't know no better. And then one day, boom, it hit me. It was gone, and it wasn't even due to the fact of me. The 3PL lost the account. This is some shit that I wouldn't expect, wouldn't have known. This is me learning as I go. So you mean to tell me y'all can screw up and piss the retailer off, and they can take the account from you, and then if they take the account from you, then every contractor that's running this account through you loses it too? So now I got to go find the account and go apply there and hope they accept me? based on the experience of me running this account, a lot of shit can go. So you have to plan. You have to be prepared for the unexpected. So yes. If Relay ended tomorrow, a lot of minorities would be out of business soon or take serious profit losses. Listen, if Relay ended tomorrow, a lot of owner operators would be out of business. Minorities are not. A lot of owner operators would be out of business, but then they would have to transition. So yeah, I see where you're going with the minority angle, but the reason why I think you have this sentiment is because of the laxed compliance that Amazon had. But they don't have that no more. They're tightening up. The volume isn't what it used to be that they could lax it. Listen, if I'm Jeff Bezos and I got an influx of freight that I need moved because I put myself in a trick bag on the come up and pushed it from 5 to 7 day delivery to 2-day delivery to same day delivery to 3 hours from now delivery, right? I put myself in this situation, and I gotta be able to, handle the amount of freight that's coming in and deliver it in a timely fashion that I created. He created this whole e-commerce 2-day, same day, next day shit, right? So if I know I got an influx of volume and we don't have enough carriers to complete these orders, and we got people coming in, but we got a lot of people going out and we're turning a lot of people away, then you know what? We got to be a little bit lenient so that we can get more trucks in so we can meet the demand. Now that demand isn't there anymore, they tightening up. Look how much shit they dealt with during the pandemic. I heard about people picking up freight, never dropping the freight off, abandoned freight. People saying they was pulling up the post offices that was closed, that was gated post offices, leaving the pallets outside the gate. Abandoned freight, stolen freight, coming to the facilities with Pooh Shiesty mask on, pants hanging all off their ass. Midwest talk about piss bottles all outside. They done turned the yard into the Gomez truck repair place. Man and them out there getting their truck repaired on the yard. Like all that shit, that ain't conducive. And then you got trucks pulling up that's raggedy as hell. And then another thing he said, a lot of people weren't taking loads because they trucks raggedy as hell. So they scared to go 150 miles out because they scared that they truck gonna break down and they ain't gonna have the money to get it towed. So they trying to stay in that close circumference so if the truck do break down, because they hear the noise. They hear the noise. They know they ain't got no PM. You think Man don't know? Man know he ain't got a PM. Man hear the truck making that noise. Man hear his brakes grinding. You hear Man brake grinding when he backing into the dock next to you. Man ain't finna go 150 miles. Man trying to keep it tight. So if the truck do break down, he can call Fonum. Fonum can pull up because Fonum got an old F-250 and Fonum got a chain. And he gonna hook it up and he gonna pull Man back to the block. But Fonum not finna ride all the way 150, 170, 200 miles out because Fonum 250 may not make it out there. So Man got to keep the truck close by. That makes shit less efficient. So Amazon say, yo, we just going to buy our own trucks and we going to micromanage this shit the same way we doing these other two. We finna get rid of all the Man. Listen, you got 20,000, you got 25,000. I don't know what they charging on that side because it's still kind of secretive, but it ain't secretive. It's 10,000. Last time I checked was 10,000, right, up front, and you had to have 30,000 in assets to apply for DSP as far as the final mile on the van side. It's probably a little bit more in the middle mile. I don't know what it is, but it's 10,000 deposit cash, and then 30,000 in assets. Last time I checked, it could be more now with inflation. So I'm pretty sure it's more on the middle mile side. to get into that program because they trying to weed out man. It is what it is. Listen, man everywhere make just fucking shit up for everybody. All right. Where can you get the curbside job? Well, it's an account, it's a contract. You got to go to a company that handles it. T-Force. I think a plan in February, probably T-Force should start ramping up for Home Depot as we going into spring. R&L is a good one. US Pack is another one. Capstone is another one. There's quite a few. You just got to find one that does it and apply. It looked like Felix has an issue with what Leaf Spring Transport was saying. I don't know, man. I'm not inside that network. I got some connects in corporate that tell me shit, but as far as the, from actually doing it to be able to say what's cap and what's not, I wouldn't know. I just take what other content creators say. I take them at their word, so I talked about that one anywhere. Let's see. Said Amazon helped you with punctuality. Okay. Let me see. The curbside will partner with local fire shops, tire shops, and remove the tires they have long. Mark, can you briefly explain mileage deduction how it relates to your monthly gross? Example: you gross $12K and run 6,000 miles in a month. Simple man. What are you talking about, simple man? What are you talking about, 5-star simple man? What are you talking about, simple man? Oh, that you mean simple math? And if you're talking about mileage deductions, you need to talk to your accountant. You need to talk to your accountant because you're talking about depreciation. I think he means simple math too. So that's why I'm telling him to talk to his accountant because he's talking about depreciation. So when it comes down to depreciation, now that's something that I've never handled because I've always had an accountant. And the accountant that handles all the depreciation for the vehicles, for whatever cars we lease under the business. So that's something that you would talk to your business accounting regarding depreciation. That's something that I've never done that, factored that in. That's something I've always left that to the accountant. Oh, he put simple math. Yeah. So 5-star, if you got an accountant, just let your accountant handle your depreciation at the end of the year. Amazon partnered with Ryder saying they're providing trucks at a discounted price, but the rates still trash. Yada. I agree with you. The truck breakdown. That's why they take local Amazon loads for dirt cheap. I believe it. Mark, do you know how Amazon operated before the pandemic? If you do, can you compare that with how Amazon is micromanaging their operations now? And what lane? When I applied to be a DSP years ago in 2014, they didn't have the prime vans like you see now. They were white vans, and if you were contracted to be a DSP, you would just go to Ryder or Enterprise or Penske. Not Penske, you go to Enterprise or Ryder. You would have to get your vans from there. I know when I went in 2017 during the onboarding process, before I decided that, I'm like, no, this shit is crazy, and I pulled the plug on it. It was $1,300 a month per van plus a $1,300 escrow because the DSPs prior that had entered into the program prior were kind of messing those vans up. If people remember those white vans that used to do the deliveries back in the day, how raggedy they used to be, and then they transitioned into what you see now, the current DSP program. As far as the compliance that you're talking about, I think the compliance was the same going into the pandemic. I think they didn't have the type of entrant they had come in during the pandemic. I don't think they had that type of entrant come in prior to the pandemic. And what I mean by that is a person who was entering into the business prior to the pandemic, even if they were new, they were a different type of entrant. This is a person who had worked, right, to get the money to be able to start a business. So they were a little bit more vested into what they were about to embark on. They had some type of understanding on business from research, right? And they took entry into becoming an owner operator, running Amazon or whatever, OTR, Final Mile, Moving, whatever, a little bit more serious. What happened with the pandemic? You just had an infusion of capital that just went out to the American people, and you had people that had years prior, had no plans or anything to start on a business. They got this large lump sum of money, and the people who didn't completely go out and blow it at Gucci and Burberry said, I'm gonna take this money. And they saw somebody on the Instagram say, hey man, build generational wealth by starting a box truck business, which is bullshit, because you're not going to build generational wealth from a box truck business. Box truck business will allow you the tool to take to invest in other things so that you can build generational wealth. And they thought that they were going to build generational wealth, and they went out and they got this box truck with their PPP money, blind, without doing any research, because they were relying on the influencers that they saw online to, hold their hand and walk them down this path of success. And reality, we know now a lot of those guys that they were watching were novice themselves, or had just entered into the space themselves just to create content so that they could monetize creating content around a genre that was so popularized due to the pandemic and then infusion of capital. And when people get something for free that they didn't have to work for, they don't care about it. You work hard for your money, you're going to invest it wisely, and you're going to make sure that you don't leave no stone unturned when it comes to educating yourself on information that's going to lead you to success. All right, these people didn't do no research. They just took the money, bought a truck, and thought it was going to be smooth sailing. And for a minute, depending on when they got in, it was, right? Rates were high. The cost of entry was high, but they didn't know no better. They didn't care. Why? Because they came in, the rates was $20 million a mile. I'm exaggerating, but I said that to say that they were high. So the rates were meeting the exorbitant amount of cost to enter. So it was like, okay, man, this is good. People were making money hand over fist. And then that water faucet got turned off. The unexpected happened. Now, during that time period, the moral thing for Amazon would have been doing with that overflow of entrants coming in, right, that were changing the landscape of what you would typically see, right? They could have did that then, but they're smart. They're not $1 trillion valuated company for nothing, right? They knew that, we got all these people coming in who just aren't business savvy. They just don't have no idea. But if we start to tighten up compliance now, that's going to be less capacity that we have to move this freight. So they turned a blind eye to it. And rightfully so. Listen, it's business at the end of the day. They not liable for the shit. I mean, as far as the freight, yeah, but this shit, most of that shit coming from China. So if they lose a load here, lose a load there, that's a cost of doing business. But like, as far as like accidents and accidental deaths due to accidents and, just other shit, what I'm saying? They indemnified. So they got to get the freight out. Why? Because they promised Sally Johnson that, if you order this teacup, it'll be here between 4 and 8. or to be here tomorrow between 7 a.m. and 11. So that means this truck needs to move this shit from this facility to this facility overnight so that it can be put on a van so that it can be delivered sometime between 7 and 11. So they turned a blind eye. The faucet got turned off. Volume ain't there no more. So now is a great time to tighten up. Now we got to tighten up now. We got to get rid of Man and them. Man done came in here. See, everything was fine. We wasn't this strict before, but Man done came up here and made it bad for all of y'all. See, the people who was running before the pandemic are having to, and I wouldn't even call it suffering, because if you're just a good business owner, you're just a good business owner. You running under compliance anyway. You're not taking no shortcuts. You're not doing dumb shit. But what it did is it made it tougher for new entrants to come in, right? Because before it wasn't 180 days. Now it is. Now they're using AI technology to scan your face. Why? Because Man and them was sending Boo Bay to run the route. Boo Bay name ain't on the account. Pooh Bear ain't on the, why is Pooh Bear on the truck? It's Man account. Pooh Bear ain't supposed to be there. Pooh Bear go in, he don't know what's going on. Or whatever the case may be, that they scanning faces now. They want to make sure that you are who you say you are. Did none of this shit in play? Man and them messed it up. And here's the thing. As things go on, as time goes on, in most businesses, things get tougher anyway. That's just how it is. That's just life. But I believe that Amazon is, putting their compliance as far as shifting and tightening up. I think they're putting it on steroids because, man, shit. you if you run it, you know what I'm talking about. Man and them came in there and messed it up. Blame it on Man. Just finished my first day at T-Force Office Depot, now doing roadie. Man, that's what's up, man. First day after Christmas, and you get into a roadie, that's what's up, man. If Felix was referring to me, I asked that he direct his comments to me. Don't be shy, Felix. I'm in a location that provides me over 15 surrounding Amazon facilities. Mark, I'm talking about the box truck owner operator. Let me see. You know how? Yeah, I think I just answered that for you, Ibrahim. I wasn't even aware of you till I seen my name in your comment, but no, I ever direct I would have attached your name to it. Mark, I do move with my 16-foot box truck. I'm just looking for a side hustle when I do have to move, but I like moving game, man. Park the truck for 2 and 3 hours, making money for a couple minutes and stopping it. Yeah. I mean, moving is I've said it many a times. If with a box truck, you start a licensed moving company, a moving company is going to make more than any of these other companies, you know what I'm saying? Because one, you're dealing directly with the consumer, and the customer pays for everything, the material, the truck, the labor. You make money off the labor, so it's just hard work. So yeah, it's hard work. If the hard work doesn't scare you, then listen, I wouldn't have had without the moving company, I would have never had the Final Mile Trucking Company, because I would have never been in business for Dynamics to call me when they were struggling with IKEA to call moving companies to help save that account, because their contractors were used to delivering messenger shit like Granger and Office Depot. And when furniture came into play, and that 3PL, that was their first furniture contract, those guys just didn't have a clue, right? And then, during my times of, rough times for the trucking company, the Final Mile company, the moving company was able to float it, because shit, at that time, 3 guys, I'm charging $100 an hour plus truck fee, material cost. So I'm averaging, I showed my books for my moving company back then. It's trucks, I'm netting $1,000+ a day. So per truck. So, for me, if I'm running 3-4 trucks at the end of the month for 2 weeks straight, the last week of the month going into the first week of that month when it's really busy, during peak moving season, prime moving season, I'm netting $3,000, $3,000 to $4,000 a day. So when I would have times of, just like when Dynamics didn't pay me for 2 periods. That was $16,000 of payroll that I had to meet. I had that type of cash flow. I had that type of money because I had a successful moving company that I'm dealing directly with the consumer. There's no middleman that after the job is complete, customers swiping a credit card. And at that time, we were taking cash. Back then, cash and credit. So yeah, moving is, if I had to do everything all over again, I would do it the exact same way. I wouldn't, me personally, I would do moving because I know that's where the money is at. And me personally, I'm not scared of the work. You know what I'm saying? I know what comes along with it, but I'd rather be sore and tired at the end of the day with, $1,000+ in my pocket, you know what I'm saying, than unsure what the next day is going to bring, like say for OTR, let's say Amazon working something off a load board. And this is me, you know what I'm saying, than that, and then even with final mile, it's guaranteed, but there's still a middleman taking 50% of your revenue. And then you deal with what I said, racism. Listen, that guy that didn't pay me, going back to Nightcrawler earlier for Dynamics, Eric Field, and yeah, I'm gonna say his name. You see what I'm saying? I'm not gonna, no, Eric Field. All right, for those 2 pay periods he didn't pay me, he was racist. I never did nothing to that man because the operations manager was a black lady. Only executive in there was black. Rosalind told me, called me off the record and told me that shit. He was racist. How do you go 2 pay settlements and not pay somebody? Forget to put their pay in. Everybody else got paid. But the one black guy with all the trucks, like Rosalind said, they don't like you because you cocky and they can't figure out how you got so many trucks. They're jealous of you. How did the supervisor and the goddamn field dispatcher, whatever his title was, jealous of an owner operator? Y'all said, man, can you provide this many trucks? I said yes, and we doing the work, it's getting done, and ain't no infractions. Just pay me. No, he didn't pay me. He wanted to cripple me. So I met payroll. Then the second settlement period, I met payroll again. I didn't quit. Natasha, if you watching this, I didn't quit. I just met payroll. You know why? Because I knew eventually they're going to have to pay me. You know why? Because there's a corporate structure. I knew they was going to have to pay me. Listen, you're not going to pay me, an owner operator that's running for a month straight without getting paid, that's meeting payroll? No, we're going to corporate now. So that was racism. Nightcrawler or whoever said it ain't no racism or whatever. Yeah, shit. It's racism. That's another form of racism I dealt with in trucking. It exists. It exists. Salesman, what up? Is that a jean jacket Marcus wearing? No, it's a shirt. It's a shirt, man. It's a shirt. Pooh Bear trying to get that honey because man convinced him that's why Amazon every 4 months is tightening up. Pooh Bear, well, man trying to get up with a chick instead of running his business, so he threw Pooh Bear in there. See, man, he worrying about stuff that he shouldn't be worried about instead of focusing on his business. All right. He said, Mark, you wild with these names. Come on, man. Y'all don't tell me you don't know no man. Every hood got a man. Every hood got a man. Every hood got a Pooh Bear. Every hood got a Felicia. Every hood got a Tay. Don't tell me you live in the hood or you lived in the hood and wasn't no Tay in the hood. Every hood got a Tay. All right. Every hood got a Pooh Bear. Every hood got a let me think of another good one. A Shay. Every hood got a Shay. Let me think of another good one. Mookie. Now you don't really see Mookie was coming up in my day. Now it's Mook Mook. Every hood got a Mook Mook. Stink butt or stink. Gotta have Kiki. Now I don't use Pookie and Ray Ray. See, we don't use Pookie and Ray Ray over here. You know why? Because everybody use Pookie and Ray Ray because this how you could tell the creator really from the, cause see, like Kirk and all them, they use Pookie and Ray Ray because they stole it from Kevin Samuels. If you really from the hood, you know all the hood names. You ain't gotta use. See, we make up our own hood. We bring other hood names in over here. We use Man Man. Now watch everybody start using Man Man. Watch everybody start using Man Man. I don't use Pookie and Ray Ray because everybody use Pookie and Ray Ray. Keisha. Stinker butt. Every hood got a stinker butt. Don't tell me you lived in the hood and you ain't never knew no stinker butt. Yeah, every hood got a stinker butt. Boo Bay. La. So Devontae says his nickname. Every hood got a Tay. You know why? Because every hood got a Deontay, a Keontae. Deontay, Devontae, Shantae. Come on now. Every hood got a Tay. Every hood got a John. Mook. All these is hood names, man. We don't. That's why I don't use Pookie and Ray Ray. I don't got to. Man. Hey, cause Man everywhere. Man everywhere. Little man, big man, Los. You know, so hey, these are little man, yeah. Cuz, definitely a lot of cuz. All these, I know all these people. I know a little man, I know a cuz, I know a mook, I know plenty of Tays, I know plenty of Lalas. I got cousins, multiple cousins named Kiki. Okay. I know Man. Matter of fact, Man work at the car wash. I only go to Man when I pull up to the hand car wash on 83rd. They see my whips pull up, they say, Man, one of your customers here. Come on, man. Stop it. Bobo. So, hey, man. Come on, man. We don't use Pookie and Ray Ray. People that use Pookie and Ray Ray, they not from the hood. They just copying some other shit. Because if they was, they wouldn't have to recycle the same shit. What's good? Mark Brown, what up? Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa. Today is Kwanzaa. Happy Kwanzaa to everybody. I've been trying to get with JB Hunt, Final Mile, for a few months. They always advertise but never answer the phone. What Mark? You in Detroit, right? Damn, I wonder if that contact I got is still there. Hold on, let me see. Probably not. You know, those contacts, man, they don't stick around that long. All right, write this number down. Interstate Screw. Matter of fact, I'm just gonna copy and paste it to the chat. I'm gonna give you the number, the name, and the email. Matter of fact, let me just type it. All right, so I'm gonna put it in the chat. Interstate Screw. There you go, Interstate Screw for JB Hunt. Give her a call. I'll go to email. It's in the chat too, so you can copy and paste it if you need it. Give her a call and that's a direct line. I'll call it tomorrow. You feel me? Same in Spanish hoods. Chino, Carlito, Chulo, Cholo, Poppy, Bobo. What's good? What's good? You said Man run with Bebe. Forgot about Bebe. Damn, how I forget? You know how many Bebes I know? Man, how I forget about Bebe? You said every name I mentioned in Chicago. How you think I know them? I know all these, I know these people for real in real life. A lot of them family members. You know how many Bebes I know? You said your nickname Stank. Look, MD running for JB Hunt in Detroit. Interstate Screw. What's your contact in Detroit, MD? Is it Kim? You said you heard that JB Hunt is selling off their fine bar. You know what? I haven't heard that, but to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised because remember Schneider sold off their final mile department in 2019. They was like, yeah, we tried it. We know it's the wave. We know we can make an exorbitant amount of money because we already have these relationships with these retailers anyway. But they was like, man, this shit is too hectic. Schneider, they got rid of that shit in 2019. They said no. So I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if JB Hunt, sold off their final mile division. I wouldn't be surprised. And to be honest with you, I don't think they need it. I don't think they need it. They don't. So I wouldn't be surprised. You say your contact is Trevor at JB Hunt? You got his number? You can try that contact I got, and then if MD has Trevor's contact information, if you don't mind sharing it, so that way he has multiple options. Excuse me. Mark, I'm coming in game 2024 full swinging with working captain. I think you mean capital, which should be a good start. Cargo van or 26 with a box truck. It all depends, man. Listen, if you feel like you advanced enough to come in with a box truck, then don't let me deter you from doing that. But me, I always promote humble beginnings, starting from the ground and working your way up. I think, starting from the ground, working your way up, I think it's more guaranteed success than starting at a more advanced level and then, trying to learn it. I think if you start more humbly, on a smaller tier and then work your way up from there, I think it's a better game plan for success. I'm going to let you make that decision because you know my stance on it. But I'm going to let you make that decision for yourself. Appreciate you, man. Interstate Screw, it's all good. It's all good. Madman said his JB Hunt contact is Dean. Hey, a lot of people on board today. You just finished your RXO on board today. Congratulations. Let me see. Trevor and Dean. I don't think I have those contacts. I just got Kim. Hold on, let me see. My JB Hunt. Doo-doo-doo. Yeah, I don't have those contacts. I just got Kim. Also, I got notification that T-Force is hiring for 14 through 16 foot box trucks. So anybody that I know, some people reached out to me. Somebody reached out to me about a week or two ago about a 14-foot box truck. I just got information that T-Force is looking for 14 to 16-foot box truck owner operators. More than likely, it's going to be for Office Depot, but it's going to be for bulk route, so palletized runs. So I know somebody in here was asking about a 16-footer, so you might want to look into T-Force. Never done OTR. Only over the road stuff I've done is cross country moving. So not OTR as far as load board moving freight, just over the road as far as moving people from state to state. All right. So yeah, man. I think we had a lot of people in here today, over 100 and some people at one point. Bunch of people on Instagram. I see a few people on Facebook. I appreciate everybody. Just, if you came in late, make sure you go back, watch the beginning. If you're one of those people that is not succeeding in the box truck business and, you got that sentiment of, box truck business is trash and you thinking about going a semi route and you're failing or have failed in the box trucking, I think watching my lecture at the beginning of this live stream will be very beneficial for you. I'm not going to go into details. I want you to watch it so you can get a clear understanding of what it is that I presented. If there's no more questions, let's see a few more pop up. What area for T-Force? Call my T-Force rep. Call my T-Force rep. Call my T-Force rep. Call my T-Force rep. Let me put that information up here too. Hold on. Let me get a number. I'm going to put it in the chat. Call my T-Force rep, William. NAL, nope. I don't have a contact for NAL. NAL hasn't never reached out to me. So, no. NAL, they ain't never did no business with me. So I've done business with installs before they merged with NAL, and this is prior to them merging with NAL and prior to CRST acquiring them after that merger. So I haven't ran with them for a little while, well, quite some time now, a few years. You forgot Shanae? I think Shanae, I don't know no Shanae. The only Shanae I know is Martin. I think that was a hell of a name he made up. All right, so I got the T-Force rep up there. All right, so boom. All right, so boom. Yeah, so that's it. What else did I want to talk about? Is that we covered the live stream? I covered my topic. I think it was something else I wanted to cover. Well, whatever. It'll come. I got plenty of time. I ain't got shit else better to do. Whenever I get ready to talk, I just go live and talk about it. So I appreciate everybody. Hi, Mark. New sub. Mary. Marie Reader. Hi, Mark. New sub. Junebug. Oh, just saying Junebug. Yep, Junebug. So Junebug is like you don't get a lot of new. Junebug is like a nickname for like boomers, baby boomers. A lot of Junebugs. During that, I knew a lot of Junebugs growing up. Older people when I was growing up. People that were older when I was a kid. It was a lot of Junebugs. You don't really hear Junebug no more. You don't really hear Junebug no more. But all right, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Until next time, I appreciate y'all. Peanut. Peanut, another one. Peanut, another one. Don't see a lot of peanuts now. I think Peanut was another one in the 80s and the 90s when I was growing up. A lot of these younger mothers don't call their kid. They call them fat man, fat, fat. Fat, fat, P-H-A-T, P-H-A-T, fat, fat, or big head. They just straight call him big head, and they don't really do the peanut no more. But I appreciate y'all. That button down fly mark, V12 Truck, appreciate you. Appreciate you. I said I'm gonna start dressing up a little bit more on my live streams. If it's earlier in the day and I'm already dressed, what I would do before I would take off if I had a designer shirt on so I can be in my traditional black or white or gray V-neck. But if you catch me at night, if I'm streaming at night, then I'm comfortable. If I'm doing stream during the day, then whatever I got on, I'm just gonna stream. I ain't finna. I was trying to be humble and shit. I'm still gonna be humble, but I ain't gonna go out my way no more to. MD, I'm not running with them because Junebug is definitely also a Junebug bag. Like, all right, I appreciate y'all. Until next time, peace.